Alright, what is going on, my dude? So the guillotine buff, it's here. It's coming. We voted for this one, right? Well, I voted for Ant-Man, but a lot of you voted for guillotine, right? So, let's jump in today. As always, we've highlighted everything you need to know. We're going to go over it. Don't even worry. Don't even stress out about it because we're going to go over everything. So, first things first about guillotine, because I feel like a lot of people don't know about guillotine, including myself. So, born of a mixed French-Algerian heritage, the mysterious guillotine... Let me make sure that my audio is on. It is. I'm not doing this again. I had to record the Thor video literally 3 times. So, born of a mixed French-Algerian heritage, the mysterious guillotine is the latest in her bloodline to inherit La Fleur du Mal. I have no idea how to say so many of these words, just so you guys know. A mystical sword with dark supernatural powers across the centuries. Many have wielded the enchanted blade, some for good, some for evil. For the will of the sword is strong, and its thirst for blood is limitless, and many have succumbed to its whispers in their minds. The current guillotine uses the blade to punish the guilty and keeps the sinister instincts of the sword in check. So, Guillotine's mechanics. Guillotine revels in the blood of her enemies. Releasing her bloodthirsty blade on her enemies, Guillotine has a chance of inflicting bleed debuffs with each swipe, earning her attack-boosting soul charges while recovering a percentage of her own HP for each percentage of damage dealt. Not inflicting enough bleeds for your liking? Throw a heavy attack into the mix to cast a bleed curse on the unfortunate opponent, followed by a special attack. This will guarantee you bleeds with each hit, and if Guillotine is unshackled, you can be sure no block can match her blade. Now, once enough soul charges have been accrued, activate your special 3 to inflict a debilitating degeneration debuff, lasting until all charges have been spent or your opponent has fallen. So, we're going to break down how to do all of this, okay? So, her prestige is like decent, okay? Definitely decent. Very middle of the pack, but not bad at all, okay? I wouldn't put stones into her like 4 prestige though, keep that in mind. So, strengths, high damage potential, we love that. Stacking bleeds, especially when heavy special combos, can deal some serious damage over time, especially with a high number of soul charges. Buff heavy opponents. Opponents who utilize many buffs at one time will quickly realize their folly, as Guillotine's chance to inflict bleeds rises with each buff on the opponent. That's a cool way to do like the Mystic Cosmic thing. You know, Cosmic Champions have a lot of buffs. The more buffs the opponent has, the better chance you have to bleed. Very cool. Weaknesses, Purify, because she has a lot of bleeds. Concussions. Having a big metal sword has its perks, but a certain master of magnetism can turn off much of what Guillotine relies on. I think they're talking about Quake. Okay, so, abilities, always active. Life Siphon. Guillotine heals 2% of all damage taken by the opponent. Note, all damage. Stack those bleeds and watch the HP roll in. That, it seems very promising. We're gonna have to see, like in actuality and reality, how it actually looks, but 2% of all damage dealt, it seems like the lifesteal is going to be very, very strong on Guillotine. We'll have to see, but 2% of all damage taken by the opponent is a lot, man. It is a lot, so we'll have to see. So soul charges, okay? Max stacks 15. Each time either champion loses 5% of their max health or is inflicted with the bleed effect, gain 1 soul charge. The first 10 soul charges are indefinite, and additional charges last for 10 seconds each. Each soul charge grants plus 148 attack rating. So if you have 10, indefinite, right? About 1500 attack rating, which is not too terrible. At 10 plus soul charges, Guillotine becomes unshackled, enhancing her special attacks until she's back below 6 charges. And we'll go over how she can get down there even though they're indefinite, right? We'll go over. Developers know. Wait until Guillotine is at 10 charges, and then unleash her heavy special combo for maximum damage. Critical hits, 35% chance to inflict a bleed debuff, causing 1737 direct damage over 5 seconds. Chance increases by a flat 5% for each buff on the opponent. Very cool. Crit rate's important for Guillotine, and maximizing the stat and reliably inflicting crits means more bleeds more often. Nice. So, heavy attack. 100% chance to inflict a 10-second bleed curse debuff. An opponent with a bleed curse suffers a bleed debuff, causing 2,233 direct damage over 5 seconds each time they're struck with a special attack, okay? Interesting, right? It's an interesting mechanic here. So Guillotine's heavy is incredibly important. Don't forget to use it before launching a special attack for maximum damage output. Special attacks. Unshackled. Guillotine is passively unblockable during the attack. Final hit has a 100% chance to inflict a pain link debuff lasting 10 seconds. While active, any non-physical damage taken by Guillotine is also inflicted on the opponent as physical damage. Now this is really losing me here. Because it says, look, developers know, damage over time got you down, share the pain with your opponent. Yeah, cool, that's great. But, like, I'm not going to take Guillotine into Hazard Shift and stack up the incinerates and poisons on myself with my 30,000 health against a 500,000 health opponent so that I can build up to a special one and share that damage. It's just, if you run the Suicide Masteries with her, cool. Like, I guess you can reflect, like, the recoil damage, I guess, right? That's cool. But in general, I don't love this. I don't love this because this is like, hey, if you're using her where you shouldn't use her, guess what? You can do some damage. So I don't love that. But Unshackled, spend 10 souls to apply an additional pain link debuff when launching the attack. Okay, so this is interesting here, right? So the Bleed Curse debuff here, okay? An opponent with a Bleed Curse suffers a Bleed debuff each time they're struck with a heavy attack, okay? So you want to use a heavy attack before throwing a special attack. So I would say what you want to do is build close to a special 2, go for the like parry, heavy special 1, right? Like as if you're using like Apocalypse, right? So you put the debuff on the opponent, and then her special 1's 3 hits, right? I think it is. So 3 hits, and then you build up again. 3 hit special 1, right? Pretty simple to get 2 specials off in 10 seconds, and you're going to get 6 of those bleed debuffs, which is definitely not too bad. Definitely get some nice damage there. That's going to be a total of, like, 12,000 damage just from bleeds, right? And you're going to heal a bit of it back. So it's definitely going to be, it's not going to be massive damage, I don't think. I'm not sure if the bleed debuff goes up with her attack rating on the charges. Not entirely sure. We're going to have to wait and see how it, interacts in-game when it's live. But it's an interesting mechanic so far. Now, for the special 2, I'm not even attempting these names, by the way. The final hit has a 100% chance to inflict a Spectre debuff for 10 seconds, reducing regenerate by 200%. That's a good Spectre right there. Unshackled, spend 10 souls to pause the Spectre for 10 seconds when it is first activated. So, basically, 20-second Spectre, which is not terrible. A very strong Spectre, too. It's definitely not terrible. It's definitely going to be useful, right? I feel like that's what a lot of us know Guillotine for. Like, back in the day, people used her for, like, Realm of Legends Wolverine. So, pretty interesting, right? She's still got that going on. Special 3, Coup de Grace, right? I think that's what that one is. 100% chance to inflict a degen debuff, causing 1,737 direct damage over 3 seconds. Then consume all soul charges to increase the degen duration by plus 3 seconds for each soul spent this way. So, as you can see, when you are unshackled, you are spending your souls as currency to get additional things, right? For the special 1, you get the additional pain link. For the special 2, you pause the Spectre. And for the special 3, whether you're unshackled or not, you're going to consume all your charges, increase the degen duration by 3 seconds for each soul spent this way. So if you have 15, the max of 15 of your souls, right? You're going to increase that by quite a bit, right? 3 seconds for each soul spent that way. So 45 seconds, right? 15 times 3. So that's not too bad. So essentially the damage that's going to do, right, 1700, let's just round it, 1737, right, times 16, because you have the initial 3 seconds, right? That's going to be about 27,000, give or take, in DJ, which is okay. It's not terrible, but it's also not great. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it reacts in game, right? So that's going to keep along degen on the opponent, which is nice to have, the consistent damage over time, and you're going to be healing a lot of it back, right, with that 2% lifesteal, which is interesting to see. And then the Sig ability here, Cursed Aura, whenever the opponent is immune to Guillotine's personal bleed effect, she has a 100% chance to inflict a matching Rupture debuff, causing physical damage. This Rupture debuff grants 1 soul charge. So essentially, against bleed immunes, you get a Rupture, which is nice. That's a nice ability. Definitely not needed, but it's nice, right, for certain matchups. For synergies, nothing crazy here at all, just some like, attack rating, all those other stuff. So definitely nothing important there. Recommended masteries, recovery with life cycling, Guillotine's active lifesteal, effective at all times, increasing the amount of life stolen could be a huge boost to her survivability. In long quests and alliance quests, right? Precision and cruelty, because you want to get those crits, and glass cannon. By increasing her attack by as much as possible, Guillotine also increases her health regen via life siphon, increasing her damage output while offsetting the decreased HP from this mastery. So, Guillotine buff is very interesting. Personally, on paper, I'm not the biggest fan. I have a feeling her lifesteal might be very good, very OP, man, like really crazy lifesteal. We're gonna have to see. But for damage-wise, not the biggest fan of her like rotation playstyle. I don't think I'm gonna enjoy using her too much. Of course, I'm gonna go ahead and give her the old college try, but just based on the spotlight, she's looking like a very, very like high survivability type champion who can bleed well, has some nice utility on the special too, and has a bit of an interesting playstyle. I think she's going to be a very, I don't want to say tanky because she's not like necessarily tanky, but all of the healing, very sustainable. Right? She's going to be very sustainable, I think. So we'll have to see how it actually works in game. You know, there is the Purgatory synergy that gives her critical bleeds, so that might really boost her damage up, so we're going to have to see. That would definitely be cool if that helps out a lot. But anyway, this is the info on Guillotine. That's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big old like. Comment what you think about the Guillotine buff in the comment section below, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any, post-buff Guillotine gameplay coming to you very soon. I'll be seeing you around.